Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Skill of the Week lesson. This week, we're talking about something that is on our study skills rubric, which you probably recognize, resourcefulness. So this is an important skill for school and for life, really. So I'm using this term resourcefulness in exchange for its synonym problem solving, and not to be confused with like math problem solving. This is different. It is resourcefulness and problem solving when faced with a task, issue, or problem of any kind. So, being resourceful and resourcefulness, what does this mean to you? How do you understand the idea of being resourceful? So, take a look at the picture. This is like kind of just an illustration of this idea of resourcefulness. So, it's just recognizing that work like naturally, whether this is like academic work, work related to, a career or job, or work related to something that's even like a hobby that you're working on, something of interest, that oftentimes this like problem solution, your overall, end goal is not a straight line. Okay. It will require resourcefulness to reach problem solution and success. So here's kind of like a more formal definition of resourcefulness. So you can take a moment to read as I read out loud. So, resourcefulness is about getting things done in the face of obstacles and constraints. This means approaching what's in front of you and optimizing what you have, whether you're making something new or just thinking about how to do something better. Or more simply, resourcefulness is overcoming challenges, challenging problems in an effective way. So, overcomes challenging problems in an effective way, I think is a nice, simple way to put it. So, maybe this aligns a little bit with what you thought about resourcefulness. So, as I mentioned, it's an important life skill. It's something you will use frequently in the workplace as well. I can speak from experience of having different careers throughout my life and jobs, just even as a teen. There's different aspects of resourcefulness that will come in handy. Absolutely. So, you will use it when you're working with people, especially with groups or teams. When you're given a project or task, no matter the nature. It's especially helpful in careers like where you're maybe like a leader, a manager, or CEO. Maybe you're an engineer or a designer. I know as a teacher, it required I'm often using my resources to find different strategies for students to try, or for myself. And I am often working with people as well, as you know. So sometimes I'm faced with problems and I need to find solutions. But regardless of what you're doing, it will involve confidence, imagination, being proactive, an open mind, and persistence. So, why is confidence integral to resourcefulness? Why is this confidence integral to resourcefulness? And, if you're coming across words that you might not be familiar with, like maybe this word integral, you can use some context clues to figure out what it might mean, or you can use your resources to find out what it means, right? Why is confidence integral to resourcefulness? So confidence is important because we have to start from a place of like, I can figure this out. If you can't even get to that place, then you're giving up before you're even trying to solve the problem that you're faced with, right? So saying to yourself, I can figure this out. I know the things I can do to help myself. I know what steps to take. I know what's out there to help. So that requires confidence. Oh, this should read what, not what is imagination. Why is imagination integral to resourcefulness? Why is imagination integral to resourcefulness? So, imagination is important because some problems require creativity and often kind of like we call that out of the box thinking, right? Something that may not seem obvious as first as the solution. So sometimes it's approaching things in different ways. Like I've tried this one way. I need to come up with a few different options. If I've, tried and then that didn't work, what else could I try? Tapping into my imagination and creativity. Okay, so why is being proactive integral to resourcefulness? Being proactive. So you'll see here in the image that the person on the left is proactive, right? They are actively doing something. Or this person on the right is kind of passive, we're calling reactive. Like you're waiting for the problem to develop. Proactive is being more involved from the first step. So why is being proactive integral to resourcefulness? So being proactive and not waiting for a problem to grow, like dealing with larger tasks by breaking down into steps or dealing with problems as soon as they arise so that they don't grow is proactive, right? We want to take on our challenges as they arise before they develop more. This is also related to oftentimes procrastination. So the opposite of procrastination is being proactive. And persistence. Why is persistence integral to resourcefulness? Well, like the image below suggests, you see that there's kind of like a continuum here, like a little iterative process of try, fail, try, fail, try, fail, try, win. So, like this image suggests, sometimes it requires trying and trying again, trying different strategies, right? Trying a different way of doing things, kind of going through your steps, going through your resources to come up with a solution. So, if you can think about a time that you ran into a problem and the steps you took to solve the problem. This can be academic, this can be about a job that you've had and you ran into a problem, this can be anything, really. I'm just asking generally a problem that you had and the steps you took to solve the problem. So just tell me the story simply, right? Did it involve any of the following? And if it did, please include them. Like, did you have to kind of tap into confidence, imagination, and an open mind there, being proactive and persistent? Like, tell me a little bit about that. Tell me the story. So maybe thinking about that problem helped you think a little bit about your resources. So can you tell me what you consider your resources? Like if you were being resourceful, what would you tap into? What are things you would do if you were faced with a problem? And take some time. Be it, as exhaustive with this list as possible. This is also like a brainstorm. So your first resource is you. You are an excellent source of knowledge, right? When you're first given a problem, you should be able to kind of tap into your own knowledge and your existing, abilities to solve that problem. You are the first step. You might try things over and over. So I've added trial and error, right? Like you might go through that process a little bit. You also have materials, right? Resources in materials. So your class notes. This is why notes are so important for you to take. They're like your first resource. You can look back at previous classwork that you've completed and feedback on that, annotations that you've done while reading, anything that you've created. You are a source of material. There's also oftentimes teacher provided resources, right? So maybe they're providing the slides to lectures or notes, videos they've created, things for you to go back and look at. So other resources provided to you by teachers. Technology. We are so fortunate to live in an age where, technology, while it can be a hindrance oftentimes and maybe a distraction, it is a wonderful tool. We hope that, through your experience at SLA, you've really learned to use technology as a tool. So researching, as I mentioned earlier, if you aren't familiar with some of the words maybe that you come across while reading or during a presentation, look them up. That's the easiest thing to do. Look up what it means. So use technology to research, finding articles, videos, examples. You have a wonderful network among your peers, right? Oftentimes, even I go to my colleagues a lot for issues when I have, solutions when I have questions. Like, even when it comes down to simple things like, can you remind me what the schedule is? Or can you send me the link for this or share me into this doc? Anything. Your peer network is a wonderful resource as well. And of course, your teachers, right? That is a great place for you to go when you've kind of done that trial and error, you've exhausted a few things. And then you're like, I'm really not able to move past this. I do think I need the teacher's help. I think that it's important that you do try to find the answers within yourself first, going through your own trial and error, your class notes, looking through resources that your teachers provided, technology, peers. Using your teachers is great. But this going to your teacher first right away doesn't help you build that confidence either. So once you've kind of gone back, read over the instructions, looked for some answers yourself and you're still stuck, yeah, go talk to the teacher, of course. But I encourage you to try and problem solve and be resourceful at different levels first. Any questions, please let me know. That's it for our slides. I'm going to make a separate video for the instructions for this week's skill of the week in action. So hopefully this idea of resourcefulness is not new to you, but it is something for us to revisit. And it's important for us to continue thinking about that as we move towards the end of the school year.